My name is Jonathan Gabriel Garcia. Melissa Morales is my mother.
Did you grow up with both of your parents in the house, or how was that?
Now it was a separate household as far as I can remember. My mom and my dad never got along for too long in the same house. So my dad usually had his girlfriends. My dad had her boyfriends. Yeah, it was separate. We'd go over there to see her, and then my dad had his house.
Tell me about how your childhood was growing up.
I mean, I want to say it was like any other kids, but most kids didn't have a dope dealer for a daddy and a mother like mine. I just remember my father not being like everybody else's, cause he didn't go to work. He made his own hours. He just had people come by constantly throughout the day, and as a kid, I wondered why. But then the older I got, I was just like, that makes sense when I found out from other people, because a lot of people would just tell us when me and Richard were younger, oh, your dad's a dope dealer, dope dealer. We didn't know what the fuck that meant. Sorry, excuse my language. But then when you get older, you realize like there's drug addicts, there's drugs, and then people sell the drugs, yada yada. So then we're like, our father sells drugs. Then we knew since an early age to keep our mouths shut, and it was fun in the beginning because he was doing really well for himself. He was a well-known drug dealer, doing really well, the good times. But then whenever he started doing the drugs more so himself than selling them, that's when things got a little ugly, as it does for most people. Back to the point, my father was a good dude, man. He just sold drugs. He was a good guy. By the time he had me and my brother, he was already older in years, so he was already an experienced old man. He was fucking damn near 40. And yeah, he taught me and my brother a lot. He taught us how to hold our head high. He taught us how to this and that, but he also taught us a lot of bad too. That's where I started selling weed and stuff at a younger age, elementary school, yada yada. But he sold for a while, but whenever the things got bad and he started doing more drugs than he was selling, he didn't bring in as much money, sometimes none at all. There wouldn't be any food in the fridge, the cabinets, anything. Me and Richard had to go hungry a lot of the time, but he always made something happen. It'd never be forever. We never starved, we're still here to this day, so. But there was hard times. No water, no electricity, having to take a shower with the rag in a bucket before school, Fucking still made it happen though. Every day. Every day. Mom wasn't there. Mom was always doing her extravagant lifestyle somewhere else. We only seen her every now and then. Wished her the best, prayed for her. But never really knew what she was up to. My dad took care of us. He did a good job. He just didn't do it the way he should, I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
Can you recall your first time realizing that your parents were addicted to drugs or selling drugs?
Yeah, I want to say it was around 6 or 7. It really started to make sense. And then plus, when you got a bunch of drug addicts looking around the house for their lost dope and asking the kids where it went, you kind of start to piece it together. But yeah. Simply, yeah. Around 6 or 7 was the time I started realizing it. I mean, it was the lifestyle, as far as I can remember. People in and out of the house, random faces you'd never seen before, some you'd seen for years. They'd come, stop by. They'd stop by 15, 10 minutes, get what they needed and leave. Some of them would hang around a little longer, but it wasn't hard to tell. It really wasn't. Yeah.
Say there's people in and out of the house. Did that make you worry, or how was your mindset towards that?
I honestly feel like I would have taken it a lot different, but I was blessed to have a brother the whole time. Richard helped me out a lot. My brother Richard Garcia, well, he's Morales, but Yeah, having a brother helped me out a lot because every time I would question or this or that, he'd just tell me not to worry, just mind my business and, you know, be a kid. That was what we were always told from our parents was to just be a kid. So no matter how much we seen, we just kind of would, try to ignore it as much as we could. And it didn't really take effect or hit until our later years in life. But yeah, as a kid, you really just tried to ignore it. He helped me with that though. Yeah.
How many siblings do you have in total?
I might forget some. Fuck, I don't want to be a dick, but I might forget some. I got a lot. I got Billy, Richard, Nathaniel, Joe Ray, rest in peace. Justin, Ezekiel, and yeah, I know I'm forgetting one or two, but that's
How
my brothers. Yeah.
how many brothers do you have that are just from your mom?
Billy, Joe Ray, Richard, Nathaniel, and me. And then Ezekiel, but we haven't seen him since he was born, or around 2, 3.
Did you guys all grow up in the same house? Do you guys all have the same fathers? Go into that for me.
Yeah, it's complicated for me, even 23 years old. But when I really start to think about it, whatever. Me and Richard were the only ones that grew up in the same house. Nathaniel was raised by my grandmother. He's our youngest. He's our youngest brother of the group. Besides Ezekiel, who we have no contact with and haven't had any contact with for the past 20 fucking years. But Nathaniel was raised by my grandmother, and then me and Richard were raised by my father. Then Billy was raised by his father. Dre was raised by my aunt and uncle Valerie and Michael. So yeah, it's just they were all spread around. My dad had Justin, me, Richard, and my sister Araceli. Yeah, my mom had most of the boys with my father. Yeah, the other boys.
So how was it growing up with all these like different siblings and like all being scattered? Can you tell me like memories or like a story like growing up? Like did you know all of your brothers or did you later on find out in life that you had siblings?
It was funny because yeah, I didn't know Billy until later on. I was like 10 years old, 12 years old. I met him at my aunt Valerie's house, her older house in the second. So whatever, I just seen my brother Billy, a white kid, because we were all Mexican. We were all dark, but then there's this white boy standing there telling me he's my brother. Yeah, my mom never really told me about him, but I knew about Jure, I knew about pretty much all the rest until Billy came along. It wasn't bad, honestly. I mean, I would have much rathered everybody live under one roof or whatnot, but it worked out the best it could have. We all seen each other when we could. We all had good times. It wasn't bad.
Hello, I'm Tan Man, and Melissa Morales is my mother.
Who raised you growing up?
I was raised by my grandparents growing up.
Why were you raised by your grandparents?
Um, at the time, being a newborn baby, I'm assuming it was stability. It was probably the safest and most stable place at the time.
So your grandparents raised you your whole life?
Yeah, whole life. From since I was a newborn baby till
Growing up with your grandparents, like, how was that?
it was good. I mean, you always hear about you being spoiled most by your grandparents, and that is for a fact true. Growing up and now, I'm still a big boy. I was fed well, I guess you could say.
Do you feel like your grandparents sheltered you from a lot of things?
From what they could, yeah, for the most part, as any parent or mother or father would try to do for their child, for sure.
Was there ever a time that you lived with your mom?
Yeah, there was probably about a good 6 months where we lived in the same household.
How was that?
Um, at the time, being probably like 10 or 12, it was fun. It was a new experience, I guess. Not having your mom around to having your mom around. It wasn't bad. I have
Only child.
5 brothers, no sisters.
Tell me a little bit about your brothers.
Mm, I'm the one of the youngest out of the five. There is one below me, but I don't know him. He is raised by his father somewhere else.
Did you grow up in the same household as your brothers?
No, not always. We have lived together in the past, but as for the same house, no.
At what age did you realize that your mom was addicted to drugs?
Um, Probably teenager years, like 13, 4, like around there, you know?
Can you remember the first time you realized it?
I was like maybe 13, and I found her drugs and I threw it, and she was mad, really mad. And for the next couple hours, I seen her and her friends searching around in the backyard for it, like searching, overlooking, picking up under rocks and everything.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Melissa Ray Morales.
Where do you live right now?
I live at Santa Via Nursing Home.
Why do you live in a nursing home?
Because I can't take care of myself.
And is that an effect from the drugs that you did?
Probably.